Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Wealth Without Wall Street again. I'm Mark Haraguchi. Got another quick video for you today. This one's actually not a question that I received, but it was actually something that happened to me yesterday. So for those that don't know, I was fortunate enough, I got married last weekend. And in that process, we're now combining households. So we're moving my wife out of her townhouse into my house, merging everything. And as we're doing this, I'm recognizing, what is my value of time? How much is my time really worth? Where do I want to spend it? What do I want to do with it? And this topic came up of cloning, right? We've talked about it before. So if we were to think of cloning, well, no, I don't mean, cloning Dolly the sheep, who was the very first recipient of cloning. We went and created that sheep. And no, I wasn't talking about the movie Multiplicity with Michael Keaton, although that was kind of what I was thinking, because as I was sitting there yesterday, I got these movers showing up and they're packing up my wife's house. And I'm thinking, I could have done this. I could have gotten some friends together. We could have rented a truck. We could have moved everything. But it actually ended up taking the movers about 4 hours to get everything done. And so this idea of cloning popped back into my head, because as I'm trading either one of two things, either time or treasure. And so I decided to trade treasure. So I gave up some of my hard-earned dollars to pay these two guys to move a fridge, a washer, dryer, couches, beds, chairs, tables, you name it. And the best part is, as I'm trading that treasure for them to put in that time and effort, I'm just sitting there with nothing to do. So these guys are unloading my wife's house, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, I'm paying these guys. I can't just leave them because I got to lock the house up when they're done. But how can I be more efficient? Well, if I'm paying them to do some work I don't want to do, why don't I just do some work while I'm sitting there? So I was able to sit there while these guys are sweating, slaving away, wrapping stuff up, packing it in the truck. I'm sitting there reading a manuscript, reading someone else's book, proofreading it for them, putting in time and effort while something else is happening. And that's really what cloning is all about, right? So we've got these things happening. And really what I was able to do is, as one activity was going on, I was trading dollars to make that happen. But what was I doing on the side? Well, rather than me having to do just that one singular event, right? If I would have been moving, that would have consumed all my time and all my energy, physically lifting boxes and moving them around. Instead, I was able to take the time that it took for them to move, and I was able to do some emails. I was able to read. I was able to make a phone call. I was able to complete work. And then once they packed up, well, we both had the same drive time to my house. But now what did they need to do? Well, they had to unload and place. So what was I left to do? Well, I could have continued reading, banging out emails and whatnot, but I thought, you know what? I'm still going to be just as efficient, because I still need to unpack these boxes that they brought in. So what did I do? I started unpacking. I had to do coolers because we had refrigerators involved and ice chests. So again, I was able to get two things done in the same amount of time. I was able to trade my treasure so that these guys could move that house. And then with the time that I got back, right, because everything's a trade-off, with the time I got back, I was actually able to do some work, which was able to pay for what these guys did. And then I was also then able to be even more efficient and start unpacking while they're still unloading, versus having to unload a truck and then start unpacking. So all of this is to say, what's another way that we can clone and get more efficiency out of what we're doing? Well, naturally, that's the infinite banking concept. If you can get your dollars to work in one spot, creating compound interest, and then borrow against those dollars while they're still compounding and put them to work out in the real world, generating an asset, or acquiring an asset, that is then going to spit off dollars, which pay for itself and actually spit some off to you. Well, now you're cloning your money. So just like I was kind of able to clone myself, although I think these guys worked way harder than I would have wanted to and much more efficiently, but I was able to get twice as much done. Not only was the house unloaded, but I got to do some work. And then not only was my house reloaded, when the truck was unloaded and things were put around, but I could actually start unpacking boxes while the unloading was still going on, versus if I'd only used it once. If just like a cash dollar, if I had used my cash dollar, I would have only gotten one use out of it. But in IBC, we can put our cash into a system where it grows in one pot, and then we can essentially clone it, borrow against it, use someone else's money, and put it to work out in the real world. So I hope this kind of correlation makes sense to you guys. It kind of just popped into my head as I was sitting there thinking about it. So if this is something that's intriguing to you, something that's interesting, go ahead and hit us up, wealthwithoutwallstreet.com/free call. We've also got a free community, but on that free call, 15 minutes, we'd love to hear from you. Hear what's number one happening in your world, what's going on, what are you trying to do, and is there an opportunity for us to help you get there even quicker? Again, my name is Mark Haraguchi. You guys have a great day.